morning. Welcome to the Victor Wilt Show today. This morning, already starting off annoying, and it's all my own fault. I've got 3 alarms set every morning, just in case I do something dumb, like instead of hit snooze, turn the alarm off. Apparently this morning I decided in my sleep to go ahead and turn all the alarms off. So woke up later than expected. Thankfully, not so late that, I missed an hour of the show or something. But late enough that I had to just mad dash, rush to get here on time. And, even though I got extra sleep, you'd think that makes the day ultimately better. But it doesn't, because it throws everything off. Everything feels all out of whack. And, even if I was only a few minutes late, that few minutes, enough to make me just, gotta be kidding me. So anyway, I'm frustrated, but it'll get better as the morning goes on. However, I think I'm going to need something really aggressive to wake myself up here. So what do we got? We do some knocked loose? Yeah, I think knocked loose it is. It's the Victor Wilt Show, taking a look at I wouldn't say a controversial post in the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group, but people are definitely arguing in there. This is why everyone should listen to Traffic School, powered by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. It happens every Friday morning at 8:45 a.m. Me and Lieutenant Crane of the Idaho State Police answering your questions about the law. The post from Dawson reads, "Just thought people could use a reminder. The speed limit on I-15 is 80, not 65 or 70. End quote. All right. There are factual parts of this statement, and there are incorrect parts of this statement. The speed limit on I-15 is 80 in areas. All right? In areas. Not all of it, though. There are areas right now where it's down to, 55 in Pocatello. There are year-round areas near Pocatello, Idaho Falls, I believe even Rexburg, where it's always 65. And I think there are some spots where it's 70 as well. So the statement that it's 80, not 65 or 70, I guess it's not really correct. Now, what Dawson appears to be trying to say here is that everybody needs to be going 80 all the time. Now, there are key words here. Speed limit, all right? Speed limit means the maximum speed you can go is 80 miles an hour. And when I dig into some of the comments here, there are people pointing out, hey, you don't have to go 80, which that is true. But I see a lot of misinformation in here as well. Like a few folks saying, the minimum speed is 45. That's not true. I'm 99.9% positive that there is not a minimum speed unless posted on Idaho freeways. There may be areas where they have a sign that says minimum speed blank, but if I recall correctly, because this question has come up before on Traffic School, we've been doing that show 10 years, there's no minimum speed, but if you are going so slow that you are creating hazards on the roadway or impeding traffic, you could be pulled over. I don't think necessarily for going too slow, but for endangering others or impeding the flow of traffic. So this is why everyone in the Life in Idaho Falls group should listen to Traffic School, powered by the Advocates. You don't have to go 80 on the freeway, all right? In the areas where it's posted 80. That's the limit. Trust me, these guys pulling campers and stuff, you don't want them going 80, all right? If you've ever pulled a large, heavy object with a pickup or like an 18-wheeler, yeah, You can't just stop on a dime in those type of vehicles, okay? So they shouldn't be traveling at 80 miles an hour. I don't think it's safe to pull a trailer at that speed. Now, don't quote me on that. Maybe I'm wrong. But I generally see people pulling campers, trailers, boats, etc. at more like 65 miles an hour. All right? Also better for your gas mileage if you're pulling something of that weight. So, yeah, sorry, Dawson, but there are areas where 80 is not the speed limit, and also you don't have to do the speed limit. You go above it, you're going to have some problems, but if you're doing 60 in an 80, you're probably not going to get pulled over unless you're driving like a complete moron. So, anyway, that's that. Listen to Traffic School, powered by The Advocates, every Friday morning at 8:45, right here on K-Bear. Yo, just a heads up, just because you're out of town doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want, all right? You can't just break the law simply because you're not at home. Apparently, tourist syndrome is a thing. The desire to do something out of character while traveling, even as far as doing things like breaking the law. According to this survey, half of American travelers said they've broken a law while on vacation that they would never have done at home. And the worst of the bunch, Gen Zers. That's right, you kid. Well, obviously. It's not just because they are Gen Z, okay? Had this survey been done 10 years ago, it would have been millennials, the most likely to break the law while out on vacation, because it's something that dumb young people do, all right? If you went 10 years before that, it would have been Gen X, and we could keep going back far enough that the boomers themselves would have been pretty high on that percentage of folks who would break a law on vacation. Those boomers, they were wild at one point. I know it might be hard to believe, but they were back in the day. All right, they might be all uptight. Okay, not all of you boomers. Yeah, 72% said they are more likely to go a little overboard on their vacation fun. I mean, it is kind of a bit of time to cut loose, right, on vacation? But if you go too overboard, you could end up in jail, all right? Don't go too overboard. You know, no matter where you're at, there is a level, there is a max level of overboard you can go. Even in places like Vegas or New York City, there is a limit. So just be cautious. I don't recommend breaking the law, all right? Nothing worse on a vacation than ending up in jail, I would imagine. So much as you want to just give in to that tourist syndrome, I'm telling you, maybe most of the time you won't get caught, but how embarrassing. What if you're, I'm going to shoplift because I'm on vacation, and then you make the news? It'd be an embarrassment. You don't want that to happen to you. So don't do it. Poppy and New Way Out from the upcoming album Negative Spaces, which comes out tomorrow. Now, Peaches was asking me if I was going to play the entire new Linkin Park album on the morning show yesterday when it drops. I think I'd rather play the new Poppy album. Just myself. Linkin Park going to get a little bit of exposure tomorrow. I don't think I'm ultimately doing them a lot of help. But Poppy, she's more of an up-and-comer. So that could definitely happen. We'll see. Kind of depends if I can get a clean copy, as they say. That would be a version with no naughty words, no naughty language. Anyhow, morning. Welcome to the Victor Wilt Show today. Hope that things are going aight so far. It's Thursday. We're about halfway through the month. Got the holidays coming up. People start getting stressed. A little bit of meditation, everybody. A little bit of deep breath action. Okay. Not like that. You've got to be more subdued. Breathe in through the nose. You like that sound? Ugh. Okay. Sorry. This is what I get paid to do. I heard the collective, "Oh, good for you," echoing throughout the various canyons here in East Idaho and worldwide. Shout out to everybody listening from around the planet. Appreciate your support. Tell your friends. They should tune into a quality program like this one. Yeah. You're like, I heard this dude get right up on the microphone and make disgusting sniffling sounds. Hey, at least I'm not eating on the air like we used to. Now they don't let us have food and drink in the studio, so you don't have to put up with me chewing in the microphone, which that was a thing I would do because I know it horrified some people. I could start uttering off, lists of words that people don't like moist. Well, you don't like moist? Why are people so bothered by the word moist? I mean, for some reason, the word does sound like what it means. It's a little wet. But nothing wrong with moist. Settle down. Got to be worse words out there. I could think of a few, but I'm not going to say them. Somebody might get mad that those words bothered me. So, you know what this is right here? This is called me winging it when I have nothing to say. So, let's get back to more music, eh? Okay. All right. I feel much more awake now. I got a call from, I won't say who it was. I guess it wouldn't ultimately matter. But I got a call from a listener and friend. And we got in I guess I shouldn't say we. I got in a little bit of a political discussion. And that woke me up a little bit. Yeah, I didn't watch the news for a week. I was on vacation. I was like, all right, time to check out from all things relating to politics. But then yesterday I got to catch up on the last week. So if this was a political talk show, I'd have plenty to say right now. But instead I dumped it all of my thoughts on the person who called. Because I like to keep things nice and neutral around here as far as the day-to-day on the show goes. I certainly have strong feelings about things. But I'm not going to share them because people are just too crazy. If we could have, a reasonable political discussion, then I think that would be fun. Because one thing that I've realized in the last few days is a lot of people don't dig as deep into the news as I do. It's part of my job. I have to find stuff to talk about every day. So you wouldn't believe how many different websites I'm visiting. I cover all of the different news sites out there, the major ones, so I see a lot of different perspectives on things. And then, I dive really deep into these things, so I consider myself pretty well informed, and I've realized by seeing a lot of the comments and posts and things on social media in the last 24 hours that a lot of people, they don't really dig in like I do. And so when things surprise them, I get frustrated. I'm like, what do you mean you're surprised by that? Why are you surprised by that? This is stuff that's been out there for, at least a year or I don't know. You shouldn't be surprised by anything. But again, I'm sitting at a computer digging in really deep all day. Every day I do this show, so I see a lot of information. I'm not picking up a caller on this one. Just wanted to let y'all know that, I think at this point, unless something, I shouldn't say unless something really stupid happens that would be easy to make fun of. I won't talk about it on air because I am seeing a lot of stupid that would be pretty easy to make fun of. But I don't got the energy for it. I wish I would have recorded the last caller that I had call right at the end of that other break. And they called to thank me for not giving my political opinions out on the show. I mean, sometimes I'm sure you can gather the way I feel about things without me coming out right and saying things. But yeah, I do tend to try to keep things neutral. And the reason is because we can't have a healthy discussion about things. Now, when people will actually take the time to call me if they disagree with me, those calls always end well. We can always reach a point of understanding. But in this day and age, people don't tend to most often talk back and forth directly, over the phone or face to face. It's arguments in a social media comment section, and you can't really emphasize certain feelings or things like that. People can't, feel your tone of voice and how you could be trying to say something and it comes across as aggressive in a social media comment, even if you don't intend to do so. And one thing I've learned in the past is that often enough, if I say something that some people disagree with, rather than call me to discuss it, like normal human beings, some people just lose their minds and they'll call Jade. They'll call the boss and be, I can't believe what he said. Like it's the end of the world or something. So that's why I just tend to avoid it. If we could have fun discussions about controversial subjects on the show, that'd be great. I think it would be informative and good and show people that we can have discussions with people we don't agree with, but everybody's too crazy. So I just keep it to off air for the most part here. But just want to remind you, it's good and okay to have discussions with people you disagree with. You may have some information presented to you that you've never heard before or a perspective you hadn't thought about. And it's okay to grow as a human being and change over time. You don't have to stay locked in to a certain way of viewing the world. And growing as a person is, I think, important as you make your way through life. So it's unfortunate that at this time, people are just too nutty to have those kind of conversations. But I got to give a shout out to the K-Bear Rock Army because, like the caller I just had, we always tend to be able to come to a point of understanding when we actually talk to each other. And so for those of you who do disagree with me but still tune into the show, I appreciate that because I think that's going to be very important moving forward, that we all do our best to try to work together. I just don't think that's going to happen. Not based on what I'm seeing on social media. So anyway, it's the Victor Wilt Show. Hello, and welcome. Lots of callers calling in. I suppose I could put some of them on air, but it's happening during songs. What am I supposed to do? All right. Let's see. Reassuring facts that not many people know. Is this going to make me feel better today? I hope so. If I can give you some reassuring facts, is that going to brighten up your day? I guess it depends what these people think are things that are reassuring. I don't know. Let's dive in and see, because I think we could all use a little bit of positivity this morning. All right, heart attacks seldom come out of the blue and strike without prior notice. There are almost always tellable signs in advance. Listen to your body and get checked out when in doubt. All right, that's reassuring. As someone who's paranoid that I'm going to die at any second, it's good to know that there are real signs. You should probably Google what those are. And, I will always go get checked out if I'm unsure about anything. I know a lot of dudes will be like, I'm just going to tough it out. It'll be fine. And then the next thing you know, they're dead. Yeah, if you're unsure, just go to the doc, all right? I know that healthcare is expensive, but, there are places like, the Pocatello Free Clinic, other facilities that will, basically, you can't be turned down, so it's always best to, even if you're going to face some bills, get yourself checked out, all right? For the sake of your friends and family, get things looked at if you're ever feeling unsure. All right, that was sort of reassuring, I guess. Let's see. The only normal people are the ones you don't know very well. Everyone is weird in their own unique way. I don't really know if that's reassuring, unless you're really bothered that you feel like you're not normal. I mean, when I look around, I feel like I'm different than a lot of people, but I think I'm pretty normal. I've been reassured that I'm not weird by other people, even though I might feel weird at times. Yeah, it's okay to be a little bit weird, as long as it's within reason, okay? Let's see here. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself, so even if you're stuck in a bad habit or mindset, you can always change it with enough effort, no matter how old you are. That is a good reminder, and that is reassuring. Do you struggle with, smoking or booze or something like that? I will tell you this. You can do it. You can break through the challenges that you have going on. You can do it. You have the ability. As someone who has stopped smoking before, I know how hard it is. Nicotine is the worst. It's the worst. There's no more terrible, useless thing to be addicted to than nicotine. But I tell you what, you got a few days off. You get yourself some video games, some movies. You hunker down at home, grit your teeth, and keep yourself distracted. After a couple days, it's so much easier. So much easier. Once you give it a few days of just trying to break that cycle of going to the nicotine in all those familiar situations, if you can make it a couple days, you're good. You're gold. All right? So I just want to encourage you and let you know you can do it. I'm here to reassure you. You have it in you. Same goes with the booze. Now, that one you might want to get a doctor to, guide you through. If you're a heavy drinker, don't just up and stop. Talk to your doctor about it. And there's not anything to be ashamed about with, reaching out to somebody for help. Okay. All right. Let's see. You never feel like a grown-up. You mostly just fake it and assume everyone else are actual adults. My data is only valid from ages 0 to 46. All right. I can verify this as well. I thought for sure when I was 20 that I was going to feel way different inside of my head when I'm at the age I am now, 42. Now, I've learned a lot more. I certainly consider myself to be more educated. I've changed my view on a lot of things. But ultimately, I'm the same dude, still in my head. I mean, I still dress like I did in high school, still listen to the same music, still enjoy playing video games, still have horror movies. I haven't changed very much at all. And, I guess I've gotten to be a little bit more responsible. But, yeah, I think I'll be 80 and still won't feel like a grown-up. I'll still feel like me. So if you're my age and you still feel in your head like you're not at the age you should be or something, you're fine. It's good to stay young inside of your mind. It keeps you young, all right? Try to not feel too young in your mind. There's just going to be certain things that just don't work out as well when you're older. But, all right, let's see. What else do we have for reassuring thoughts? A cat's purr releases oxytocin and has a naturally calming effect. Is that why I'm always so happy when I get home? Come here, kitten. Come here. And she's always waiting for me when I walk in the door. She wants to be picked up and held, and she starts purring, and then I'm just happy. Oh, I'm happy to be home. All right, anyway. Do you feel reassured? We might come back to some of these, because I think reassurance could be a good thing. Might need to spout off some more of this to you. Try to make you feel a little bit better about your day. But I got to dig up some freak news, so hang on. Freak news powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. Here we go. Animals fighting back. You know I love that. This time, got a whole town taking on a bunch of badgers. Badgers wrecking paths, causing roads to collapse, and prompting residents in Mablethorpe, this is over in the UK, causing them to say something's got to be done. Yeah, you don't want to monkey with a badger. You're out walking, you see these badgers tunneling under your favorite footpath and it's caving in, and you're like, guys, why don't you get on out of here? And then they attack. Badgers can be pretty mean. So, what's a town to do? I don't know. I mean, are they the type of animal that might be considered endangered in Mablethorpe? I don't know. But I guess they've got just tons of them that have rolled in and are tearing everything up and scaring people. So just don't go outside. Just don't go outside. Don't trifle with the wildlife. All right? Wildlife is fed up with humanity at this point. We got the orcas fighting back. We had hippos attacking people. Now it's badgers. Just stay inside. I think the great outdoors are done. But if you stay inside, you might start hearing noises from the basement. There was this woman in LA. She was hearing a little bit of ruckus from under the floorboards, and she assumed, I don't know, maybe that there was a badger in the basement or in the crawl space. Nope. You got a naked man under your home. Ugh. Yeah, I guess they were usually hearing the noises late at night. So they're like, all right, just nocturnal animals. Yeah, we'll call in some type of exterminator eventually, animal control, but I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But then it got extra loud one night, so this 93-year-old woman's like, I guess I'm going to just call the cops over to check this out. And they peek into the crawl space, and there he is, naked man who refused to leave. So I guess they had to chuck tear gas into the crawl space. I mean, they managed to get him. But yeah, if you hear noises from under your house, don't just assume it's a raccoon. These stories, it ain't the first time I've had one of these on the show. That's for sure. All right, what else do we have here? Infowars purchased by The Onion. Be really funny to see what they're going to do with that web domain. Yeah, in case you're unaware. I mean, if you're unaware of who Alex Jones is, that's actually a good thing for you. I think it's the people who have been exposed to Alex Jones that have a risk of having their mind poisoned. So, yeah, if you're not aware who he is, he's this guy who... Basically, I think he's known for claiming that he, predicts these major events. Things like 9/11. But what he does, all right, and this might make, there's got to be some Alex Jones listeners who listen to this show just because, I don't know, it's just how it works out that there's enough people who listen to his show that somebody has to be listening. But if you go back and look through his stuff, he predicts about 1 million things all the time. And then when one of his predictions finally comes true, it's very easy to go, look, I predicted that. Look. That'd be like if I had audio recording of me predicting, the winner of the presidential election. But I had at one point or other predicted everybody who could possibly win. And then you put it out, look, months ago I predicted how this is going to go. Anyway, I'm sure this isn't going to be the end of Alex Jones, but it's good to see that having to pay a little bit for the straight up terrible things that he made, some poor families have to go through. Won't get into the details of all that, but bye Infowars. I guess it's going to be a spoof. Oh, well, it kind of always was a spoof news website. It's not going to be much different if it's run by The Onion, right? All right, if you're going to commit fraud, well, don't. It's a bad idea. You might end up in jail. You got to have a lot of money if you're going to be a fraudster and get away with it, all right? Average person just trying to defraud their insurance company, you're probably going to get caught, especially if you make the worst bear costume of all time and make videos pretending that bears destroyed your vehicle. Yeah, I guess this happened in LA. These, what do we got? Four or five people here? All charged with conspiracy and insurance fraud. They claim that a bear entered a Rolls Royce ghost and caused interior damage. And they're like, look at this video. And officials said they believed right away that it was a person in a bear costume. I'm looking at the bear costume here. Yeah, I would imagine that they thought it was a person in a bear costume because it looks like a bear costume. And honestly, a Rolls Royce Ghost, that's a pretty expensive vehicle. There's got to be better ways to make money than trashing that and then waiting around for an insurance claim. What are you going to get? A little bit of extra dough out the other end? I don't know. This seems like the dumbest fraud I could possibly imagine. So yeah, they set up a search warrant, raided their homes, found the bear costume, and now, gonna cost them a little bit of money. Idiots, man. Shouldn't be surprised. I mean, we do stupid criminal stories every single day on this program, but sometimes they're just extra bad. You know, you could have at least gone with a Bigfoot costume and made it, extra wacky. I don't know. Are you sick of your phone? Aren't we all? I actually like the new phone I've been using. It's been working pretty good. I had this other phone that for years gave me a lot of grief. This new one seems to be working pretty good, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just drop phones altogether and move to Sega's Emojam emoji pager. Yeah, you just get a friend to get one as well. They look kind of like a Tamagotchi. And you just send your friends messages in emojis, up to 10 emojis at a time, and then you're done. I mean, it sounds kind of fun. Might be difficult to get across certain messages, but I don't know. People get a lot of things across with just a few little emojis. I don't need to give examples. You know what I'm talking about here. How much are they charging for these? That's what I want to know. Because they couldn't be worth more than, let's go $29.99. $46. $50 for a emoji sending device seemed kind of steep to me. Because, I mean, come on, you already have a phone, right? Yeah, you could send emojis all day, and you already paid tons of money for that phone. But I don't know, this could be a fun way to mix things up a bit. There are certainly times I'd rather be staring at emojis than my social media feed. That's actually probably most days. So anyway, they are currently only available in Japan, but this seems like the kind of thing that could pop up here in the U.S. So I'll let you know if they ever come our way. I mean, Christmas is right around the corner. You got any friends or family that you're tired of all their text messages? Here, just send me emojis. If you were listening earlier when I did a bit of a first listen and reaction to the new track from Linkin Park, I did upload the video of that to YouTube, but Linkin Park's label, man, do they suck. You would think at this point they'd understand that people make these videos checking out new videos. And so I always have to go through. This happened with the last Linkin Park video that I checked out. Had to send in a dispute when they're like, your video is now blocked. You got a lot of blocked action going on in your current existence, buddy. We have blocked your video. And then I dispute it. And like a week or two later, then the video's available online. At which point, it's not really, current, all right? It's old news. So hopefully they'll go ahead and remove the restrictions on it soon so you can check it out. But I did end up deciding, fine, I'll just make another video then. I didn't do a rock video, though. You may have heard me raving about how much I like the new song from Lady Gaga last week or the week before. Well, she put out a live version of it that's kind of a reimagined acoustic/piano version. It's a song called Disease. It's such a good song. And I mainly think the reason I really like it is because it's very, very Trent Reznor-ish. Got some serious Nine Inch Nails vibes going on, especially this new live version. So, I'm going to upload that video. So there's something floating around online that people can actually view. But anyhow, to Linkin Park's label, come on. Get it together. It's 2024. Shouldn't have to go through this hassle. Lady Gaga's label don't give me no hassle. Well, I guess I'll find out. I haven't uploaded the video yet. Anyway, yeah, just talking pop. Talking pop on the Victor Wild Show today. But don't worry. I got more rock coming up. I got that new one from Linkin Park. Well, not the new one that I listened to earlier, but a new-ish song. The first one they put out with Emily Armstrong. You've heard it a million times at this point. It's coming up. Gojira, Mea Culpa. Their track as performed at the Olympic Games last summer. Probably the best live metal performance, even if it was pre-recorded, that I saw all year as far as video goes. Sleep Token, got to be taking home that actual live show. Well, I don't know. That show I saw a few days ago in Vegas, the Beat Tour with Adrian Belew, Tony Levin, Steve Vai, and Danny Carey performing King Crimson songs from the 80s. That was up there with Sleep Token, for sure. Different types of shows. I think Sleep Token was definitely more crushing. But as far as mind-melting musicianship, no comparison over at the Beat Tour, which I saw in Vegas. Speaking of which, as I was walking around Vegas, saw a few billboards for the upcoming Wicked movie. Now, Wicked is a musical from Broadway that I have not seen. I've heard nothing but great things about Wicked the musical. And I'll openly admit, I like a good musical, all right? I went to a musical when I was in New York, as a matter of fact, and it was wonderful. The South Park movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a musical. If you haven't watched it in a long time, go back and watch it. It's got some great songs. Anyway, I think I got to go see the Wicked movie. And it seems like I recall reading backlash to, I don't know, casting or the trailer or something. I just watched like a little 1-minute clip of one of the songs from the movie. Some song about the wizard. And it sounded like, standard musical fare. So I don't know exactly what the backlash is about. The movie isn't even out yet. Doesn't come out for like a week and a half or something. I think it's next Friday. If you haven't seen something, you can't really bash on it. It could be a wonderful movie. I don't know. Could be a terrible movie. But the modern age, man, people just gut react to everything. The minute they see something, here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts. It's like, well, give things a chance, all right? Give things a chance. Because you never know. It's like when new music comes out. If it's an artist you don't like, you should still check it out. You heard me talking about the Lady Gaga song earlier. I don't generally fire up my Lady Gaga playlist because I don't have one. But, I check out new music for all of the radio stations here, and every once in a while I'm like, hey, this is actually really good. It tends to happen most when I'm looking at music for K-Bear, but every once in a while, one of the other stations, some pop or country will surprise me. I wish it happened more often, but, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, settle down. So anyway, there's a lot of good stuff coming out that I want to see. There's a new A24 movie that came out last Friday. What's it called? Why can't I think of what it's called? Has Hugh Grant in it. It looked like it was going to be really good, but I pretty much like all A24, so I would imagine I'm going to like it. Because even the worst A24 movies are still really good. Man, I need to watch that Penguin show, too. Saw a lot of people raving about how great the Penguin series is on HBO, and I guess the season finale, one of the highest rated episodes in television history as far as IMDb goes. You know, up there with like the best episodes of Breaking Bad and The Sopranos and all. It's got to be pretty good then. I didn't expect much out of the Penguin show, but that's coming up on the list pretty quick. Last night started watching the little pre-fight stuff for the upcoming Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight that's happening Friday live on Netflix. I want to say it's at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, but don't quote me on that. It's going to be live on Netflix. They have some kind of a series that's just leading up to the fight. And watched episode 1 last night. It was, pretty good. I'm still hoping to see Mike Tyson just, pummel Jake Paul, because Jake Paul's just so unlikable. But you never know what's going to happen in a live boxing match. So lots of exciting entertainment coming up, which is good. Anything to distract from the real world. Am I right? Am I right? Mm-hmm. Man, already 9:20 a.m. This is what happens when I spend all of my time working on YouTube stuff. Well, in the middle of the show, I'm the multitasker extraordinaire. Anyway, I hope you're well. And man, one good thing about having Monday and Tuesday off. Yesterday, you probably heard me do nothing but complain about, I got all this catching up to do. I'm so overloaded with work. And it was stressful. And today, I'm still overloaded with work. I have so much I've got to get done. And then Jade comes in and reminds me of other things I've got to get done. But I'm feeling a little bit more caught up, and it is Thursday. I could be feeling this way on a Tuesday. No, before I know it, going to be rolling into the weekend, and that is awesome. I hope you've got a weekend coming up. I shouldn't brag. I can hear it out there. Oh, good for you. You get Friday, or no, I don't get tomorrow off. You get Saturday and Sunday off. Oh, good for you, Victor. Good for you. Well, it's just how it works, all right? I may end up being very busy on Saturday. We do not know. Anyhow, Stuart keeps sending me links to these crazy houses that are for sale. Boy, I got to tell you, crime does pay. I was looking at the former home of Gambino crime family boss Paul Castellano. I don't know how to say that right. For the bargain price of $18 million, you could pick this up in Staten Island. This looks like the epitome of a mob boss kind of house here. What's going on? By the way, Jade's tinkering with things. He's replacing some cables, so you may experience some kind of interruptions today. Anyway, hopefully it leads to us sounding glorious by the end of his tinkering. But this ridiculous mansion that is for sale in New York, I mean, would you want to live in a former mob boss's house? Got to be some bad vibes floating around in there. You can go ahead and put Jack Skellington on display right when you walk in. It's still going to be creepy because it's a former mob boss's house. It's fancy. It's my style of place. I do like intricate woodwork, and I don't know what you call it when you put patterns and stuff on the ceilings, but it's cool. It's a cool, very fancy place. Some of it a little cringe, but, it's a little dated in areas. Still, I don't know. I don't know about living in the former mob boss house. Seems like a bad juju. Well, I've just got to let you know I've been trying to avoid eBay. I've sensed myself slipping back into the, can't help myself but buy books mentality. And I just don't need to be spending the dough, It's too easy. I get in that bidding frenzy. It's like a game. It's kind of like gambling, which I don't do. I was in Vegas for a couple days. I didn't spend a penny on gambling. But when it comes to eBay bidding, boy, I love that game. And I've told you how I do it. I wait till the last minute, the last second to place my bid, because I don't want to drive up the bids beforehand. So I just jump in, and whatever the maximum amount I'm willing to pay, I'll put that in when there's like 5 seconds left in the auction. Well, one thing that I am willing to do is support local art. We had the guy a couple weeks ago. Why can't I remember his name? Because my memory is garbage. But he had written a book, local member of our armed forces, brought by a signed copy for me. So I was very happy to support him in his art. Again, my bad for not remembering your name. I suck. If I do remember it, I'll throw it out on air again, because I'd like to see people support him. There's another local author who has a book coming out December 5th. Her name is Liliana Longoria, Liliana Longoria. Now, I don't know much about what her book is going to be, but she was talking about ARCs, which are advanced reader copies, which I collect. I sent her a message. I'm like, okay, listen, I know you're looking for advanced readers, but I've been a very poor reader as of late, so I would hate to sign up to be an advanced reader. Generally, if you do that, you should get out and post reviews and things like that. But I was like, but I'd love a signed ARC because I collect those. She was kind enough to say she'd hook me up with one. So I also told her, hey, I want a real copy of the book as well, also signed. So anyway, you should support local art, like local bands. If you've got a new album coming out, I would love to know about that so I could let people know and so I could pick up a copy. I went to a metal show a couple weeks ago, picked up a couple shirts from local bands. Anything you can do to support local creativity is always a good thing. So, if you're looking to support, again, local writers, LilianaLongoria.com. You can get yourself a copy of that book ordered up. And, author copies will be signed with a custom bookmark. So that's pretty cool. And they're a good deal, $15. Not bad at all for supporting somebody who's put a bunch of effort into making something. Now I just need to get back to trying to create something myself. I've got all of these songs, probably at least 2 albums worth of material that myself and my band have never recorded, and it's all on me. It's my fault. I've got issues, I guess, when it comes to buckling down and getting the job done. So, I don't know, maybe as I continue to encourage you to support local art and do so myself, I will get a little bit of motivation to finally put out something new myself. Because, some of these new songs I got going, I will pat myself on the back. One in particular, I think it's got the best riffage and the best song structure I've ever came up with. So hopefully you'll get to hear it and I don't get hit by a bus. I think it was a pretty decent one. I think it was an all right show. By the way, Jade is tinkering with things. You may experience some clicks and brief ins and outs, but hopefully this results in the station sounding how it should by the end of his tinkering. Somehow, with whatever he's doing, I lost a computer monitor. He's not even in the same room, so I don't know what he's doing. All right, let's take a look at this article here about the return of the lost factor. This is a radio thing where they're like, what's going on with these songs that, all of a sudden end up being popular and we just somehow missed them back in the day on radio? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Radio is pretty stupid when it comes to dialing in on what's really happening in music. We've talked about it countless times. Enter Sandman was not a radio hit, all right? Back in Black was not a radio hit. Not at the time they were new. Many years later, big hit radio songs on every rock station in the country, but at the time, it was scary music. Oh, geez, now I've lost 2 monitors. Maybe that'll fix the other one. All right, cool, Jade fixed something. I think he's listening to me as he's in the engineering room tinkering with things. Thank you, Jade. My monitor is back on now. So now I can fix all my screens. Anyway, I just find it funny how these radio trade articles, they pop up from time to time, and it's always, how did we miss this? And it's like, well, here's how. You didn't look outside of your radio bubble and whatever the labels were shoving at you to try to determine what might be popular with your listeners. It's kind of like how even to this very day, you don't hear Slipknot on the radio. I saw a tour poster announced the other day for some kind of festival in the UK, and the headliners were something like Linkin Park, Sleep Token, and somebody else with a million bands below them. Sleep Token is not on the radio. Why? I don't know. I mean, I could speculate. One of these days, probably when I get the boot, I'll let you know about how things can really work. The music business is a sleazy business, and the radio business can be a really stupid business. So you combine those two things together, and that's why radio sucks everywhere. Sorry for the vagary on the morning show here as we wrap things up, but these articles just annoy me. I can't believe this song's still popular and we'd missed it back in the day. Yeah. Come on, dude. If you've been in the biz that long, you should know we tend to miss the big hits, especially in formats like rock. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. I'll be back for the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, powered by Jalisco's. Thank you for your support listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe to the on-demand version everywhere podcasts can be found. Follow us on all of the socials, YouTube, KBear 101 RMG on YouTube, KBear 101 FM everywhere else, and Victor Wilt everywhere. You can find me on like everything. So I'd appreciate a follow and a like and a subscribe. And I mean, you don't have to do any of that, but it makes me feel good. So brighten my day. Thank you again for tuning in to the Victor Wilt Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.